A very good morning to all of you. We have introduction class regarding strategic cost management in the previous video, and let me recap the concept and add a few more concepts of Unit 1 so that we will complete the total syllabus of Unit 1 in the second video itself. Yes, cost management, as discussed earlier, is a process of planning and controlling the cost. But when it comes to strategic cost management, the objectives will enhance to managing the uncontrollable expenditures and help reduce the chances of going over budget. That means in normal cost accountancy or traditional costing system, you will see that definitely we will make some cost estimates for the future, and we will try to control. But cost management calls for managing the cost in a more systematic manner such that we always have a planning and controlling of the costs. But when a question arises, are all costs controllable? Traditional costing system assumes every cost is controllable, but in fact, practically that is not possible. We always have some uncontrollable costs. Therefore, apart from normal planning and controlling techniques, we need some enhanced skills like management of uncontrollable things. Strategic cost management has been defined as the application of cost management techniques. Yes, definitely there will be different tools. Today itself you are going to learn the, at least the names of those tools. If not, complete understanding of every tool is not possible in introduction class. But I hope you will be learning the names of different types of those techniques in today's class itself. The application of cost management techniques so that they simultaneously improve the strategic position of a firm and reduce the cost. What is strategic position of a firm? I told you, keeping your firm in a definite advantage position when you compare your firm with that of any other competitor. That is what we generally refer to as strategic position, and a continuous effort to reduce the cost. That means the various types of tools and techniques that we use as a part of strategic cost management, they are all trying to provide your organization. If they are used with a good spirit, your organization is expected to gain strategic position and also able to reduce the costs. Nature and scope of strategic cost management. This was explained in previous session in the great detail, where we see that it applies to entire organization, and every stage of product life cycle is the SCM should be applied at every stage of product life cycle development, and quality and customer service should be given great prominence. And strategic competitive advantage, which is obtained when an organization has plans to develop high skilled workforce inside the organization, as a good research and development programs continuing so that they gain exclusive access to new technologies, proprietary technologies, brand image development, and having able to offer differentiation strategy with offering unique products and services. Otherwise, if not differentiation strategy, they can have cost leadership strategy. Uh, yes, cost management or strategic cost management, when practiced in your organization, the information that is obtained from external sources and stored in your organization so that it becomes a vital source of information for top level management to take uh, better decisions in your organization. So therefore, any organization which is implementing strategic cost management techniques in their organization are able to provide a good source of information to their managers. And involvement from inception. Yes, strategic cost management can provide you the better results when you start the practice at the inception itself, instead of already starting with the traditional cost management and thereafter shifting to strategic cost management. It is always better to have the advanced system of cost management, that is SCM, strategic cost management, being implemented from the very inception, from the takeoff stage itself. Then you will be having that competitive advantage gain from the very inception itself. We have the following things as objectives of strategic cost management, where we have explained all these things. Where every organization has some demands from external people like shareholders, customer demands are there, technology advances are there, and many things like that. But how these demands are going to be fulfilled by an organization, like shareholders demand good dividends, that is possible when profits are there for the organization. So firms can have profits by increasing selling price. No, it is not possible because of the competition today we are having. Therefore, organizations have to put their efforts and focus on reducing the cost instead of increasing the selling price. Thus, profit maximization will have a different strategy in strategic cost management. Customers demands, they demand good products at lower prices. They want to increase the utility of their products. The utility of a product depends upon how much value they are getting and what is the price they are paying. If they are getting more value at lesser price, then they get more utility. So thus the demands of the customer has to be fulfilled. And for this, internally the organization has to improve its strategic position, improve the productivity. Productivity improvement requires technology advancements, and improve the customer satisfaction by having information from customers regarding what are their expectations from the product of the company, and accordingly making suitable changes to your product. Now, traditional cost management versus strategic cost management. That means traditionally how we are trying to manage the cost, and today the strategic cost management, the focus is on different compared to that of the traditional systems. So we identified these differences in the previous class very carefully. The areas where we see is a focus, TCM, traditional cost management, mainly the focus is internal affairs of the organization without looking at what is happening outside the organization, and how we have to manage the external activities is never a concept in TCM, traditional system. But strategic, we have already explained, it does not end with internal management, but also try to extend its managerial efficiencies to that of distributors on the downside and the suppliers on the upside. So a total value chain, it wants to develop a strong value chain. So not just internal activities. In perspective, yes, traditionally we look at only value addition. What is the additional revenue we are getting? What is the further processing cost we are incurring? If the difference is positive, short-term type of decision making used to happen there. But in strategic, that is not the criteria. Whether we are able to create value throughout the chain or not is important. Therefore, scope for improvement of a product is always possible when you look from the perspective of value chain rather than your own activities inside the organization. Inefficiency happening at any other stage, like suppliers stage or distributors stage, you can manage that inefficiency and create value out of that. So cost analysis done at product, customer and functional level, but strategic, you see, cost analysis is done at all stages of value analysis. Analysis of scope of analysis, as traditionally the scope of analysis is narrow because judgment is based only on value added concept, but so in strategic cost management we see it is a wider in the sense that several techniques are applied here, not just value addition is the only thing that is judged here. Many other aspects will be considered before judging the profitability of a given product line or product mix, etc. So, object of cost analysis. Generally, traditionally, we have only three things: keeping what happening, that is score keeping, and whenever there is a problem, attention directing, and a problem is to be solved, just problem solving. So no future perspectiveness is there. But in strategic cost management, apart from these three objectives, we have another strong objective of strategic positioning, that is either attaining the cost leadership by producing a product at lowest cost, or providing a unique product, the differentiation strategy, and that is even the cost is higher, but you will satisfy your customer by creating the uniqueness in the product. And the cost drivers, the volume is a single driver. That means traditionally we use it to assume that because of high production, cost increases, and low production, cost decreases, and the unit cost, due to low production, unit cost is higher, and higher production decreases the unit cost. Like this, we always assume that volume is the only thing, because of that the cost is being incurred. But when it comes to strategic cost management, not just the volume, they will think about several other things which will motivate the cost. That means because a cost is incurred in an organization, always not because of production. Without production also some costs are being incurred. There may be some activities that is incurring those costs. That means cost incurring and activities which are making that cost to be incurred. All these things have to be verified and judged whether such costs are really necessary or not. They are able to create value or not. Like this, multiple drivers shall be applied in strategic cost management to understand the cost incidence, rather than keeping only volume as a single driver to create cost in the organization. Now, with the end of that recap or the lesson so far discussed in the previous session, if you are convenient with that, okay. Otherwise, please watch that video again and again, introduction class, because that is very important. And now the remaining subject in the volume, unit one of our syllabus, regarding strategic cost management for MCOM third semester. We have three more concepts. By completing these three concepts, we are going to completely complete the unit one of your syllabus, right? So let us go further with these new concepts uh, we are discussing for the first time in this video. So far, I have covered only the recap of what we have discussed in the previous class. Now let me go to first concept, that is value chain. The second one is the tools of strategic cost management. As I said you in this video, I am going to mention the names of those tools, because there are several tools, and understanding each of the tool in the single class is not possible. So we will try to familiarize with the names of the tools at least in this class, so that in the next uh, units of the syllabus you will be getting as separate chapters for each of those tools, and you will be able to put your efforts very clearly in each of those individual tools and techniques, right? And the third one is product cost systems, when we are trying to determine the cost of making a product, or providing a particular service. Traditionally, modern techniques, what are there, what are the different types of product cost systems used to determine the cost of the product or service. So let us first start with the value chain. Value chain analysis can be a useful tool as a firm seeks to achieve competitive advantage. So, competitive advantage or strategic position, these terms will quite frequently being repeated in this particular subject, and you should be having what the meaning of that one. Keep your organization in a strategic position compared to your competitors. That means your ability to produce the product at lower cost, your ability to produce a product which is different from that of the competitors, or your ability to uh, provide more value to the customer by producing the product at a lower cost, and at the same time providing more functionality to your product. All those things that an organization, can it do it or not, it depends upon value chain analysis. So first of all, try to get a minimum understanding on the term value chain. So let me ask you an example of why an organization why an organization like Coca-Cola or Pepsi or Thumbs Up, they will give some refrigerating facilities to dealers or pawn shop owners. As you might have seen that they give free of cost sometimes, or they give those equipments and collecting installments from them. So one question comes into our mind: why the manufacturing company should do all these things? It is the duty of the shopkeeper to do that. If he wants, he will do that. Otherwise, he will leave it out. Why should manufacturer? That is the area where you need to understand the term value chain. So the Pepsi company or Coca-Cola company or the Thumbs Up company, even after taking all efforts to produce a good quality product, if a shopkeeper is not maintaining adequate cooling facility, the value of the product does not go to the customer. Customer does not receive a good quality product unless the all activities from raw material procurement to ultimate customer handling of the product should be managed. Therefore, when you have the information that there are certain limitations for the distributors in providing the good quality to the consumers, then in the process of managing the total chain means starting from the beginning of raw material to the last stage of product handling by handling to the consumer stage, you should put the efforts. Before putting those efforts, you need information as to what distributors are currently practicing in this process. When you find that they are having certain difficulties in managing that particular distribution channel, then you yourself have to make investments in such a way that the ultimate objective of providing a strategic position to your organization is achieved, because once you give these facilities to the shopkeepers and dealers, etc., and it compared to other competitors, when other competitors cannot provide such things, then automatically you will be in a position, strategic position, competitive advantage situation compared to others who could not do that earlier, and you have done it for the first time. So like that value chain analysis can be a useful tool. Like in strategic cost management, I told you there are several tools, and the value chain analysis (VCA) is one of such greatest tools we are having. So it will help the organization. Definitely, it will help the organization to achieve that competitive advantage for which an organization is striving for. The value chain depicts the way a product gains value as it moves along the path of design. That means from the stage of designing the product, making the product, that is production, marketing the product, delivering and service to the customer. That means if you think that I am a manufacturer, I will concentrate only on production. So that is not going to be correct way of managing your organization. If you want to continue like that, that will be a traditional cost management, and you will never end up getting that competitive advantage. So you are really trying or striving for keep taking your organization to that strategic levels, strategic position, then definitely you should be looking at and analyzing the way raw material is delivered to you, the way the finished goods are marketed, the way they are delivered to the ultimate customer, how customer dissatisfaction or customer complaints are handled by the distribution channels, and all these things should be inquired, and any inefficiency or deficiencies in the total chain should be corrected. This is the ultimate algorithm inside the value chain analysis and value chain concept. Simply the meaning is that one. So in strategic cost management framework, managing cost effectively requires both requires a broad focus external to the firm. That is what I am telling. So if you continuously think that I am a manufacturer, I will look after only design and production aspects, and marketing distribution is not concerned to me because that is external to the firm. That is not correct. That is why Porter has called this focus the value chain, the, the total focus you are keeping externally, but the methodology, the Porter has named it as a value chain. The value chain for any firm in any business is the linked set of value creating activities all the way from basic raw material sources for component suppliers through to the ultimate end use product delivered into the final consumer hands. Thus, you need to keep concentrating on all those activities. Ultimate final consumer hands it reaches, ultimately the product reaches the hands of the consumer. And even after consumer hand consumes it also, you need to identify and find out the satisfaction levels of the consumer. You cannot leave left out it to your competitors to do that activity. So whatever all activities that are essential have to be completed at any cost if you want that particular strategic position left out for you, completely for you, right? How this value chain helps us, in what way it helps us? We can see some areas inside this value chain that provides us this particular help for us. Help means understanding the external forces that affect the value of our product. Value chain analysis as a tool of strategic cost management is focusing on creating value to the product and ultimately to the demands of the customers. That means we are not producing the product according to our will, but the production is so tuned to the demands of the customer. What are the things that customers does not need, but we are providing unnecessarily, or what are the things customers are demanding, but we are not able to provide them, and these changes are continuously made according to the changes in the taste and habits of the customers so that the product remains alive or otherwise it's always viewed as a new product in the eyes of customers. That is enhancing the value of the product continuously. Value is defined as a function of utility and price. That means by buying a particular product, what is the satisfaction customer is receiving divided by how much cost he is bearing, that is the price of the product. Thus, the value continuously increases as long as the numerator utility increases and the denominator price decreases. This is how you in value chain analysis we measure the value and try to enhance such value. And the second way is a focus on the activities. As I said earlier, traditional cost management thinks that only driver of production cost is volume, but the activities that we perform are never reviewed or identified here. But in value chain analysis, activity wise, we will try to understand the business process, each of the activity, what are the different kinds of activities we are providing, are they able to provide us a strategic advantage the management is requesting or thinking about it. So managing the resources internal and external to the organization in such a way that they ultimately provide a strategic advantage is the rhythm of value chain analysis. Thus, the scope of optimization should cover entire gamut of organization. Gamut means that there is nothing left out which is not analyzed in terms of activities and activity costs and value addition of that particular activity, its need or unnecessity, etc. Things will be analyzed in all aspects. Nothing, only selected area is not there. It is a total entire gamut of the organization is considered here. Linkages and interrelationship. Value chain develops linkages and interrelationship among various departments. That means if department 1 is efficient and department 2 is inefficient, automatically the inefficiency will be identified because of the way in which we will link the departments in the organization. Every department need to be efficient. There's an interrelationship among departments within the organization and an interrelationship with the entities outside the organization. This is important because your organization is linked with the raw material suppliers and again with that of the distributors. And so there will be continuous flow of information regarding whether raw material will be available or not, and at the same time distributors will give you information about the existing stock levels, which model is going fast, which color is more demanded by the customers. All these informations are coming to you, then automatically your production management will be updated according to the information so obtained from outside organizations for effective management of entire chain of creating value, that is value chain, we simply call it as. And finally, focus on activities. The focus on activities we have already considered, but here the main thing is that instead of focus on activities, better you put a term called primary and secondary activities. So that means not just the activities which are essential for production, but also those activities which will make the production possible. That means logistics management for raw material transportation as well as finished goods transportation, and the development of human resources, the abilities to market the product, and all these sub-secondary activities are also given prominence in the value chain analysis. That means prime that we will check whether our activities in respect of primary activities and our activities in respect of secondary activities, at all these levels, there should be efficiency. Efficiency implies no activity is performed unnecessarily, no cost is incurred accordingly. Thus, all possible areas where unnecessary activities exist, they will be removed from the organization, no matter it is relating to primary activities or it is relating to secondary activities. So thus, with that, we have completed a very important concept from examination point of view, that is strategic cost management, one of the greatest tools, that is value chain analysis. In this particular slide, I will try to mention you various other tools. Remember students, these tools we are going to learn as we progress into the subject in 2, 3, 4, 5. All these tools will be covered. No tool will be left out. But at the introduction stage, we will try to memorize the names of these tools so that when we go into that particular concept, we will feel some type of familiarity as if we know the concept earlier, right? So that psychologically will be beneficial for you. So let me name value chain analysis. This one you have already learned. Activity based costing. The next unit you are going to learn it. Target costing, total quality management, just in time, SWOT analysis, benchmarking, balanced scorecard, Kaizen costing. So if you have the chance, please pause the video and try to write these names once or twice so that you get some type of familiarization. Value chain analysis as a tool I have already explained in this lesson. Maybe once again it is coming to us in the shape of advantages, disadvantages, features, other things we are going to learn about it. Activity-based costing will be covered to a greatest length even if you are going to solve some numerical problems in ABC costing. We simply call it as ABC. ABC stands for activity-based costing. This is a modern costing technique quite frequently applied in these days by many organizations. And there are certain practical difficulties. We will come to such a discussion when we come to that particular chapter. Target costing, where selling price is always being fixed, then profit is generated only by managing the target cost. Suppose you assume that 10 rupees is the maximum price at which you can sell your product, then profit management always be depending upon at what cost you can end manufacturing your, what is your ultimate target. So 10 rupees is the maximum selling price, then definitely you will be striving to produce the product at a cost below 10, that is 7, 6, like that. So you will always put a target. It may be achieved in first year or may not be achieved in the first year, but we will have certain strategies being used from the inception to reach the target. Just in time is a Japanese inventory technique which is used for minimizing the inventory cost in the form of inventory holding, storing. Uh, Instead, they will purchase the inventory only when there is need for inventory, and they avoid keeping huge stocks of raw material and associated costs for that activity of storing raw material and finishing goods. Instead, they produce or they procure at exactly the time when it is needed and not in advance. The type of technique definitely helps reducing several costs. That technique is what we call cheap just in time. SWOT analysis, many of you might have known this technique is a beautiful concept emerging from marketing where we analyze the strength, weakness, opportunities, and threats for the organization. And benchmarking, yes, the term itself says when we have a target to be reached, which is very high, we use benches. We put first bench and try to reach that bench first. And once we reach that bench, we will put another bench over it. That means the ultimate target is reached by keeping different points to be achieved. That technique is what we refer to as benchmarking. And the balanced scorecard, this concept assumes that development of a single area, single perspective, is not providing the overall development to the organization. That means having strength in marketing and not in production, or having strength in production but not in financial terms. On all these aspects, we will look into when we come to balancing the scorecard. That means the scorecard should be same in all subjects. And here, I mean subjects means organization, departments, areas that creates the value to the organization and the product. So, how the scorecard is to be balanced and what perspectives and areas to be concentrated, and we will learn that concept in balanced scorecard concept. The last one is Kaizen costing. Kaizen calls for a continuous improvement. That means if you produce a product at a cost of rupees 10 today, Kaizen costing says that due to certain techniques or certain concepts like learning curve and ability to learn, human being learns faster. So definitely he takes less time when he produces the product for the second time, third time, fourth time. Take a small example when I am asking you to prepare some accountancy like preparing trading account, PL account and a balance sheet. First time you may be taking 2 hours of time. When the same problem I gave you to solve again, next time you may be taking just a 1 hour you are making the problem. I ask you to solve again the third time, fourth time, fifth time. Assume what happens because of your learning abilities, creativity in understanding the concept. Human being has the capacity. Definitely, you are solving the same question again, again, again. You are taking lesser amount of time than what you used to take in the previous case. So same thing happens in manufacturing scenarios also. Generally, manufacturing scenarios, the people who are in the starting stage of the learning will scrap the material. That means they do work in wrong way once or twice before learning. So this at the inception stage we see lot of raw material scrapped, so raw material cost is on higher side. Labor taking more amount of time, repeating the work. Therefore, number of hours used to produce the product is also high. But situation improves by the next time they engage in the production, and that continues to improve as they continue to engage on the same work for several times repeatedly. So that is what Kaizen costing looks at. You should have stiff targets. That means if you are producing the product at a cost of 10 rupees, next time the target should be 9 rupees, and like that it should continue to improve. And what are the ways in which we can improve? Those things we are going to learn in Kaizen costing. So by and large, that is how the various tools of strategic cost management are used.